Hello everybody and welcome back to another brand spanking new episode of Classic Arcade Repairs. This is Gorf, two Gorf sets, minus one ROM board. It only came with one ROM board, and the set, it came with an extra pattern board. So I got 3 pattern boards and 1 ROM board. And I think I have an extra RAM card. This one, the RAM cards are not in this one, but I got 3 RAM cards sitting up here. This one's complete. I've checked the game boards, and they have the speech chip and the other customs. Everything's complete, other than, like I said, it's missing 1 ROM board. So this set right here will just be minus a ROM PCB. Yeah, these come from my friend Jason. Hello, Jason. I know he's looking forward to the video. So I decided to go ahead and record this one. He said that these boards have been previously worked on. Some of the sockets may have been replaced. You can tell that there are heat sinks put on these chips, except for this one. So we'll look over all that work and make sure everything's good to go. We're going to test everything. Hopefully these customs are all good. That's a big cross your fingers. But we'll check all of that. And yeah, so let's go ahead. How am I going to approach this? We're going to do all of the RAM cards at once. Okay. And I'm going to get my tester thing out, my card tester. And the first thing we'll do is we'll go over the RAM cards. And then we'll plug in the pattern boards and see if they kick back errors. And we might have to fix pattern boards. I don't know yet. So we'll start with that, with the known stuff. And then, like I said, we'll take the ROM board out. We'll look at the sockets and the chips. Make sure the chips don't have broken legs or corroded, tarnished up legs and stuff like that. Kind of go systematically through it without even plugging these in. I don't need to plug these in right now. I want to go through, I want to check the back plane boards, make sure that all of the solders are good on those, which they may have been resoldered. It doesn't look like it. So we'll check all of that out. Yeah, and just go from there. I can see the capacitors have been replaced. Almost all of the capacitors have been replaced, so that's good. I don't have to do that. Now, I did check the RAM cards. The caps have not been replaced on the RAM cards, so we'll go over that. We'll do that. And then test the RAM cards. Like I said, I'll get that tester thing out, and we'll go from there. So let's get to it. Let me get my Midway card rack stuff out, and we'll start testing stuff. Yeah, there's actually a total of 6 RAM cards. 2 of them have had the capacitors replaced. This one's nice ceramic. I bet you these are all probably good. These ceramic RAMs are look at this one. This is a nice set right here of 2 ceramics. This one's ceramic too. And this one. I like the ceramic RAM. But we do have to replace all of these capacitors on these. So we'll do that, replace those, and then we'll be ready to start testing these guys. Alright, I took my meter and preliminarily just checked for shorts on these to make sure if any of them were blown out. And when I came to this guy, you see the one of them is, in fact, shorted. So one of these is shorted. The other ones are not short, but this one is. So we'll go ahead and replace those and go from there. First card test after replacing the caps. The first one is good. Moving on. Second card. Good. Card number 3. Good. Card 4. Good. Card 5. Good. And card 6. Good. So they're all good. They just needed new caps, I suppose. So, yeah. RAM is all good. Pattern board number 1. Looking good. Pattern board number 2 of 3. Looking good. Looks good. And pattern board 3 of 3. Looks good. So all of the RAM and the pattern boards are all good. That's good news. So now we can move on to CPU boards. And I think what I'll do is I'll get my Wizard of War out and I'll just test it using the CPUs out of these. And make sure that that'll test the customs and everything. So I know that the RAMs are good, the pattern boards are good. The question marks are the game boards and the CPU boards. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and test those out. Okay, Wizard of War. On the black and white. Now this is with my CPU board, my game board, my Wizard of War game board, and my ROM board. The pattern and the 2 RAM boards are from one of the sets. So now I'm going to test both of the CPU boards and make sure that it works. And I actually wanted to put it over on my color monitor because the CPU board creates the video colors that go over to that. So we'll wait for that to come up. And I'm pretty sure. Oh, I don't have it hooked up. Yeah, hold on. I got to hook this up. Well, I have one of the CPU boards in with my set. And it's working, but it's all red, and that's not the board. It is working fine, it looks like. It's hard to tell. I think my color thing died. I think this thing crapped out. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try the other one and make sure the other CPU board works and then go from there. That's a bummer. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, I put this one back in here. I put the other CPU board in here and it's running. So that's good. I'll put it back on the black and white and just make sure it looks correct. But yeah, I think my color thing died. I think is what's going on. Unfortunately. All right. Okay, yeah, back on the black and white, and it looks good. I'll put the other one in there and make sure it just looks good on the black and white. And that's good. The CPU boards will be tested good. Okay, I got Gorf set number 1 on. And I moved it over to this monitor because I wanted to eliminate monitor. And yeah, it's the same thing on this Nintendo monitor. It's completely red. So obviously my little video board crapped out. You can believe that. Now I think it just completely died. So yeah. Now it's like rolling. All right. Unfortunate. Yeah, I moved it back over to this monitor, and it's not rolling. It's just, you can see it working. I just hate that it's like that. So I guess we're just going to have to do it on the black and white. So I'll go ahead and move it back over. We won't get to see all the colors, but we can see that it's working. Yeah. All right. Okay, it looks like during this screen there's some streaking going on there. That could just be connection. I would say that's probably a connection issue. But it looks good other than that. Yeah, so I think I need to clean. Now you're going to start seeing these streaks when it scrolls. See that? Okay. You know what I want to do is I want to pop the other game board in here and see if we do that. See if it does the same thing. Right, I put in the other game board, and you can see it does the same thing, the streaks, and it'll probably play just fine after that. Yeah. Yeah. So that just tells me that there's connection issues. So I'm going to go ahead, take everything apart, and start cleaning, starting with the back plane board needs to be removed and cleaned. Make sure all the solders are reflowed. Clean all of the edge connectors on the boards themselves, and then try it again. Well, actually, I should probably start with this. This board right here has all of the original sockets and tarnished leg chips and everything. Probably be a good place to start right there. So I'm going to refurb this board, and then I'm still going to clean everything. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to refurb this board. I'm going to clean the back plane board and then all of the edges. So that'll do. All right, I just took this this CPU board here, and I was cleaning the edge of it, and I looked on the back, and look at this. This is used for a jumper. That's a possible short. That's a mess. Possible short. I have no idea what that's all about. We're going to tidy that up. So this is going to go bye-bye. And we will put a better jumper in there. Really look at this. So yeah, I've got I've got the ROM sockets out, and I've got all the pins picked out of it, and it's ready to be desoldered. Just clean up the old solder areas. It's ready to be desoldered. This is cleaned. So I got the chips themselves cleaned. Yeah, so we'll straighten this up and check all this prior work. So, all right, I'm going to continue doing the edges and inspecting. Okay, back at it. Here is the ROM board, not complete. I got to put a cap in it, but the sockets and the chips are refurbed. New sockets, chips are clean. These are not, I left these sockets in, of course, but I changed the ones that the ROMs go in. Work is all clean. No fluxy mess. So I'll go ahead and put a cap in that, and this, I'll pop a cap in this thing's ass. And this will be done. So, very good. Okay, the bottom plane boards are done. I cleaned them really well with a toothbrush, little simple green, and hot water. Got in there, got inside of these slots really good. I resoldered the entire back of both of them and cleaned. Had to go with my little dental pick thing and go around and make sure everything was, because this one was really oxidized, so the solder was a little more difficult, and it kind of left little strands off of it almost, so I had to really just go and make sure that there was no stray solder anywhere, basically. But they're both cleaned up good now, so we can put this all back together now. Okay, I got one of the sets complete and put back together. And it looks good. And you remember the little tearing or whatever that was on the Gorf title screen? We'll have to check and make sure that that's cleared up. So far, so good. Of course, we have to test the sounds and controls out. And I think one of the RAM cards may have taken a crap. Yeah, see, no more lines tearing through. So that fixed that. So that is good. But what I did was I hooked this set up. And the only difference is I have to use the ROM board in both because there's only one ROM board. But this one, I'll show you what it did. I'll hook it back up with these RAM cards in it and everything. And I even tried, it just reset. I wonder what the voltage is at. It might be low voltage, I don't know. I'll check the voltage, make sure it's at a good solid 5 volts. My suspicion is it's around 4.7, 4.6. Because I had to turn it down for the last thing I had it hooked up to it. So anyway, I'll hook this one up and show you exactly what I mean. It just looks all goofy and scrolls fast. I think one of the RAM cards died in it. So that'll be cool. We'll be able to get the RAM tester back out and stuff. But let me check the voltage. I'm going to set the voltage at a solid 5.05 volts. And then we will, and I'll show you this one, what it's doing. And yes, I just set the voltage. It was at 4.65 and I turned it up to 5.05. So I will go ahead and now hook this guy up. Okay, and here's the other one, and this is what it does. I believe one of the RAM cards died because I can swap I swapped game boards between the two. That didn't make any difference, so it's not the game board. And yeah, I believe that is the RAM card. I can go ahead and swap the RAM cards and see what happens. Okay, I swapped the RAM cards and it's still goofy. Let's try CPU boards. Okay. CPU board swap. And it's working. Oh, you know what I think it is? Remember, this is the one that had that stupid jumper on the back. I need to go over this. I bet you there's a short or something going on. I need to fix that. So let me do that, fix this guy up, and then this one should be good to go. All right, there we go. I got it cleaned up. Cleaned all the flux off of there, inspected it, and I ran a proper jumper. And we want to make sure it's trimmed. Put the chips back in it and give it a shot. Okay, we're back together. Plugged in, and let's give it a shot. And it's still acting goofy, so there's something still not right. Okay, I'll have to do a little comparison to the other board. Let me do that. And I got an idea. I think maybe two of those pins on this are supposed to be connected or something. I don't know exactly. So I'm going to compare on the other one. All right. Well, very irritating. These look exactly alike, right? No identifying mark on what they are. I pulled this board and I removed both of those, not thinking about that. This one and this one. And I couldn't tell which one was which once I got them out of the board. So I tried taking the screwdriver and I was going to pop this off. Pop this heat sink off so that I could see which chip this was. And the damn thing broke. Whoever the dingbat was, I'm sorry, but I'm just irritated over this. Did not identify these at all. So you couldn't identify them once you removed them. And that freaking pissed me off so bad. I broke this. It's actually the data custom. No, it's the address custom that goes here. This is the one out of my board. So I'm going to have to supply this one now because I broke this. So I have to now supply this in this board set. That irritates me to no end. But anyway, that's the one with the fixed jumper, and it now works. This chip right here is the other address chip. Remember how it looked weird? This one went bad. That was not my fault. This one just went bad. So I broke one. Oh no, what's going on now? It just reset. I wonder what that's all about. Resetting. This one needs these CPU sockets replaced. These 40-pin sockets need to be replaced on this. And this is my data custom from my board set. Yeah, so that's pretty irritating. Anyway, yeah, this one's no good. And I have to supply one of them because I broke one. How irritating. All right, anyway, that is it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other game board in here and see if it'll run without resetting, because I don't know what that reset was all about. But and I'm going to change the sockets on this one. And I'm going to take my paint pen and I'm going to write data on the bottom of this. This is the data custom. This is the address custom. I can tell the address one because it's got a lower profile aluminum heatsink. That's the one that I had on my board, which I'm going to have to supply with this now. I'm in the market for a Wizard of War or Gorf or whatever board set now. Anyway, yeah, I think I have another. I know I have this space, this extra bases over here, and it has a good data custom. That one's bad. It has a good address custom. The data custom is bad on that one. So I do have another address custom, so that's good. Holy crap. I left this running all day and all night. I turned this thing on, it might have been 2 days ago, and forgot about it. Nice. All right. Yeah, this thing's been on for... It had to have been yesterday I turned it on, so it's been on over 24 hours. How about that? And this thing's still going. That's good. I am so irritated over that. These things, you know how rare these are. And boy, that's irritating. Okay, so we got a bad address custom, a broken data custom. No, I broke the other address custom. So this one's going to stay in this board. And I do have an extra address, but I have to keep it. I have to keep it for mine. So I think I'll take that one that's over in that thing over there. I'll put that one in here. Let me do that right now. Okay, yeah, I got the address custom from that extra bases game over there in the corner. And there you go. So that is the one that I'll send back, and I'm going to keep this one in my set, which this is my board right here. So I want to keep this with mine. And this is my data custom. See, I have a D on it. You got to be able to tell what's what. The fact that those weren't It's just so irritating. I did not expect that was going to break like that. There we go. Now I got my data custom in there. I got my 2 chips in there. Yeah. That's my board in my Wizard of War. I'll put a heat sink on that one. But yeah, that's got that. This one, I'm going to put this in. Well, I need to replace these sockets. This socket comes right out with this chip. So I'm going to replace those sockets. And this one just went bad. And there's nothing I can do about that. I don't know if it was good at one point and then went bad. I don't know. But it don't work now, that's for sure. Goodness. So let me go ahead, take care of this board with the sockets, and then we'll be testing sounds and all that. There. This is what should have been done in the first place. I got data on this one and address on this one. Data, address. Alright, yep, I got the heat sink installed on this address custom. Nice low profile black aluminum. So that's good to go. I've got the tops popped off of this. Getting ready to put new sockets in this guy. Yeah, this is that board that has the jumper. And this one's good to go. So I'll just work on this one. Get it good. And yeah, we'll be ready to make sure the sounds are all good. Alright, picking back up on Gorf, I have replaced the 3 sockets on this CPU board. Nicely, I might add. So we'll put these 2 in there, and then I will use one of mine because remember, this address custom is no good. So, and I've found a source for the chip that goes into that thing. So I'm going to be buying some of those chips and hopefully getting that thing up and running again. But as for now, we're just going black and white. So I'll go ahead and put this all back together and just make sure it still works. Minus this, of course. And I need to test all of the sounds and stuff and gameplay and all that. So we'll do that. Alright, Gorf. I had to use my address custom. That's the board I just refurbed, and we're looking good. So it looks perfect. None of that streaking nonsense going on. That was due to the sockets, I believe. All right. So I got to get the audio amp out and all of that and get that all hooked up, and then we'll play some Gorf. I got it all hooked up. And I don't know if this has attract sounds on or not. I don't think this even has attract sounds. I think that's Wizard of War, I believe. I don't know. Okay, let me go ahead and hook up my Atari joystick, which I had problems with this Atari joystick not working when I plug it in. And I basically had to shave this. Focus. Anyway, I had to shave this down. So I'll hook that up and place some Gorf. Okay, I got everything hooked up and ready to go. I'm just going to kind of try this right here maybe. I'm going to try this. Okay. Let's give it a whirl. Coin.
Okay, player button. Dorfian state law prisoners.
Boy, this speaker's terrible. I want to try it again. Because this speaker is terrible, but I think I've messed around with it enough to make it sound decent. So let's try it again.
Okay, player button. Dorfian robots. Attack, attack.
All right.
I am the Dorfian Empire.
One set working. This set seems to work just fine. So now what I need to do is grab that set, put this ROM board in that set, and do the same test. This one's good to go. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let this one run for its 3-hour test. And then what I'll do is I'll test the other one. That way I don't have to mess with this one anymore. The one thing about this set is it does have a bad address. I am not sending my other custom. I've already got one of them that I've already wrecked one of them. So yeah, I'm out one custom already. This one I'm not. This one I didn't wreck this one. It just went bad. So good-oak. And I did put a heat sink on the one that I'm sending. You see, I did put a nice low profile heat sink on that one. So I'm going to let this one go ahead and run. And after it's done running, I will test that one.
Enemy ship destroyed. Too bad. Space cadet. Try again. I devour coins.
Alright, I know I ended it, but I ran into an issue, and it's only been 10 minutes. I've been playing the game, and I've noticed a couple of resets, and it would come back around, and then I noticed I turned it off, I turned it back on, and there was no voice. I think that the game board has issues with the sockets on the two customs. So I think I'm going to refurb both of the game boards, and I'm going to replace the two 40-pin sockets that are on the game/IO board. I'm going to replace both of those 40 pin customs. This one I had to reseat everything to get it to work. And then there was no sound, so I think I'm going to replace the 22 pin socket as well that the speech chip goes into. Because it did not have sound until I reset everything. So, or not sound, but it was missing. It was missing voice. Yeah. And if I recall, I think this one was also missing some of the sound effects. But now it's not missing the sound effects. I don't know. Maybe that's just in my head, but I'm going to refurb and replace the sockets on that game board. There's a 22 pin that the speech chip goes into, and the two 40 pins for the custom chips. I'm going to replace both of those, or all those 3 sockets on both boards. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm ending the video. This thing works. It was just having issues with freaking out and resetting. And I reset everything, and it seems to be fine now. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to let this one at least run for 3 hours. That one already ran for 3 hours. I could probably leave that one the way it is, but just for longevity's sake, I'm going to replace those sockets as well on that game board. The 240 pins and the 22. As we all know, that these are the same old Midway sockets. They're garbage. They are just literally garbage sockets. So I'm going to replace them. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now. All right, here is the second board set, and it's all hooked up and ready to go. It's not plugged in though. Okay, I just took the ROM board out of that one and put it into here. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. The first one was successful in its testing, by the way. It went a whole 3 hours, problem-free, no resetting, no nothing. So now we have this one, which looks as it should. So let me go ahead and put the camera right here. Try this again. Let's see if we can't. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if we get proper sounds and stuff.
Push a player button.
Sounds good.
I am Gorf process. Prisoners.
Damn it.
Some galactic defender, you are space audit. You cannot escape the Gorfian robots. for annihilation, space cadet.
Whoa!
Light dust, space cadet. You cannot escape the Gorfian robots.
Very, very, very nice. So that is a successful test. Sounds are good, controls are good, gameplay is all good. So now we have two working sets, other than, of course, the one has one ROM board, and it had a bad address. This one, I got to take the address chip out of this one. That's mine. This is the one that I had to replace because I broke one. And this is the bad one that I'll put back in that board. So that one does have a bad custom. And yeah, other than that, looking good. So I refurbed the ROM board with new sockets. I cleaned the tarnish off of the EEPROMs. That one right there, I replaced the three 40-pin sockets on the CPU board. I replaced the capacitors on all of the RAM cards. Maybe two of them had new caps. I don't remember. But most, I think, out of the six, I think at least four of them needed caps, and I replaced those. One of them had a shorted cap, remember. I used an eraser, like a school eraser. And I cleaned all of the edges. They were pretty dirty and stuff, so I cleaned those edges really good. Then I used alcohol to clean them. The backplane boards I removed, and I cleaned inside of the edge connectors, and then I soldered every connection on the back of these. I reflowed solder into, and I did inspect these under my microscope, and I saw an awful lot of ring around the collar on those, which is like a microscopic crack solder on the solder joint. So I reflowed all of those, cleaned all the edges, refurbed the ROM board, and replaced caps on the RAM cards. I tested all of the RAM cards. I tested all three of the pattern boards. There is an extra pattern board right there, and then the two extra RAM cards. Those are tested good. So that's about it. A lot of maintenance, some socket replacing, a lot of socket replacing, chip cleaning. I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one run like I did the other one. I have a high score on this one. That's how I know if these reset. I don't have to sit here and watch it all day. I know if it'll reset because it's got a high score. So as long as I come back 3 hours from now and it still says 5,000, we're good. Okay? So that is it. Hope you all enjoyed. I want to give a big shout out to all of my people on Patreon that help support the channel members that help supporting the channel, and yeah, if you like this kind of entertainment, if you find this entertaining, you might want to become a channel member or a Patreon supporter. Who knows? Maybe. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I do have in the pipeline, I am going to be putting together, remember about a video ago or so, I was doing a gauntlet board that had those MB8146, 8186, something like that, RAM chips on it. They were 4K by 4 static RAMs, and I couldn't test them in the Inquisitor. So I said I was going to build, I was going to design a little circuit board adapter to put in my Inquisitor so that I could test those using a 6264, using the 6264 test. 6264 is a 4 or 8K, I think it's an 8K, 8K by 8. So this being a 4K by 4, I can put two of these in here, and now I got 4K by 8 And the extra address bit doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So yeah, I got this built. I've got my 2 ZIF sockets. So I'm going to put this together. I bought some RAM. I bought some of those RAM. And it's a 2186 maybe. I don't... It's basically pin compatible with the MB8186.
Player button.
So yeah, I'm going to put that together and test that. That'll be my next little video. A little... and yes, this... Once this is tested and it is deemed to work, this will be put up on my Patreon page. So if you have an Inquisitor and you want to be able to test those, that's where you'll be able to get it. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you on the next Classic Arcade Repair. And I am buying some more of those chips for that thing to try to fix my color board. Yeah. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.